Hi, my name is Cassia. For as long as I can remember, I was the shyest kid you've ever met. When I was little, I would hide behind my mother's dress when meeting new people. My first grade teacher thought I couldn't speak for a full year. My parents were so concerned that they took me to a child psychologist to try to get me to open up a little. What the doctor figured out that my parents couldn't is that I had a huge imagination. I wasn't good at talking to people, but when she read me a story, she could see my eyes light up. I loved stories of knights and princesses and epic quests, even a dragon or two. Then, everything changed when she put paper and pencil in front of me and asked me to write my own story. Soon, I had created a world of monsters and mazes and heroes who would say the things that I never could. My psychologist was absolutely stunned. She had never seen such an expansive imagination in someone so young. I had found my calling. The only problem was, I came from a very strict, old-fashioned family. My parents are both doctors, as are my grandparents. Our household was all science all the time. Not a lot of room for what my mom called silly kid stories. Throughout elementary and junior high school, they forced me to join sports teams and go to math camps to try and make me more sociable, but it didn't work. I had the writing bug. When my parents would go to bed, I would turn my flashlight on under my sheets and write my epic stories. A sword that speaks, a princess trapped in the underworld, a knight who is half monster. I never felt more alive than when I was writing my stories. One night, my nosy little brother came into my room while I was writing and discovered my stash of notebooks. He ran into my parents' room yelling that I had been making up stories in secret. They were not happy. The next night, they held a family meeting in our living room.
Silly stories are not a career. You have to learn somehow.
He took out my stack of notebooks and put them in the fire. I was so mad at him. I got up and left. I slammed my bedroom door hard. Flash forward a couple of years to high school. I hadn't written a word in a long time, but I was starting to come out of my shell a little bit. I was getting straight A's. I had some friends. I was even getting some attention from boys. That's when I met Ethan. Ethan and I sat next to each other in English class. I mostly kept my mouth shut during class discussion, but Ethan would say the smartest, most interesting things, and he had the dreamiest hair. The only problem was, my shyness was back and at an all-time high. On my first day of classes, he asked me what the date was. I was so flustered I couldn't even speak. September? I said. Real smooth, Cassia. Real smooth. How was I going to figure out how to talk to this guy? One day, I saw him after class signing up for something. As soon as he left, I crept up to see what it was. An audition for the school play. He's handsome, smart, and an actor? There could be an opportunity here. If we were in the same play, we'd be forced to talk to each other. And maybe he'd see that I'm not a total weirdo, but auditioning in front of people? I was going to need some help. I enlisted my friend Stacy, who was one of the most confident people I had ever met. She helped me choose a monologue and memorize it. She made me feel so comfortable. It felt like a breeze. But when the time came to audition and the adults were sitting behind the table, I opened my mouth and the words didn't come out. Oh no. It was the longest 5 minutes of my life. And the director was not impressed. To make matters worse, when I was leaving, Stacy walked right past me into the audition room. Why didn't she tell me she was auditioning? The following Monday, I checked the casting announcement. Ethan was cast as the lead, and Stacy was his romantic co-star. Oh my God, this could not get any worse. Then I looked for my name, all the way at the bottom. I was playing a serving maid with no lines. Some plan this was. So there I was at every rehearsal, watching my former best friend and my crush do romantic scenes together. Stacy was looking at me from the corner of her eye while touching Ethan and holding his hand. Ugh, so gross. She is terrible. To make matters worse, the play was really bad. The story was nonsense, and the dialogue was even worse. And I had to listen to it every day. One day, as I was leaving rehearsal, I overheard the director and his assistant arguing. They both agreed the script they had written was not working. but they couldn't agree on how to fix it. Just then, I had an idea. I walked up to them and told them that I could fix the play. They looked at me like I was out of my mind.
Why don't you leave this to the adults?
Said the director. I told them again that I knew how to fix the play, and I could prove it to them if they just gave me 24 hours. I told my parents I had a big chemistry exam the next day, and I had to study all night. They believed me, and I could see the proud look on their faces. That night, I wrote and wrote and worked until the early hours of the morning. I had rewritten the entire play. First thing in the morning, I dropped it on the director's desk. When I arrived at rehearsal after school, everyone was whispering to each other. Then the director got up in front of everyone and said,
"Today, we got an absolutely brilliant new draft of the play. I am amazed. I need to thank
"You," I interrupted. "You did such a great job on the new draft of the script." I had just realized that if my parents found out I had written this play, I'd be permanently grounded. The director kept my secret, but privately told me what a great writer he thought I was. Wow! The play was a big hit with the entire school, and even though no one knew I had written it, I could hear how much they liked it. The only hard part was Ethan. I had put all my feelings about him into the script, and those lines were being read by Stacy of all people. The whole point of doing the play was to get close to Ethan, and now he felt further away than ever. And he was wonderful in the play. When he spoke my words, I felt like he was the only person who ever understood them, or understood me. My whole family came to see the play. After the show, my parents said they were glad I was getting more comfortable with speaking in public. Little did they know I had written my own lines for myself. I had kept the secret well, but I was tired of lying. "Mom, Dad, I wrote this play. I don't want to be a doctor. I want to write." They were furious with me.
"I should have never let you do this play. You're right back to writing these useless stories. For the rest of the school year, no friends and no going out. And when you are at home, you are studying your sciences."
I didn't care. I was tired of keeping my true self a secret. With my newfound confidence, I marched over to Ethan. "Hey, I just wanted you to know that I think you're really cool. Do you want to go out sometime?" He said,
"Sorry, but I'm seeing Stacy."
"Stacy?" I should have known. If only I had acted sooner. Soon I found out that Stacy had even told everyone in the cast that she had rewritten the play. What a liar. Did Ethan believe that? I was so mad. "How could you do this to me?" I asked Stacy later at school. "I thought we were friends." "You were never going to take credit for the play, and you were never going to make a move on Ethan. So I did. What are you going to do about it?" Oh my God, who did she think she was? So
In 1981, Arnie Johnson pled not guilty
I think I hurt someone.
by reason of demonic possession.
Your family was
I decided to do something all right. For the next few months, I wrote and wrote and wrote. I was grounded, of course, but it's not like my parents could take away my computer. After a while, I had a polished draft of my new masterpiece play. I sent off my script and my essay to a handful of colleges across the country. A few months later, my friends were starting to receive their college admission letters. Where were my letters? I was cleaning the house one day when my mom's purse fell off the counter and a bunch of paper fell out. Inside, I found a letter from my top school in New York City. I opened it. I got in.
"Where did you find that?"
My mom roared.
"You are not supposed to see that."
Well, too late. That fall, I began my studies at a prestigious drama program in the heart of New York. My writing professor was a famous playwright who loved my writing. She challenged me to be a better writer and nurtured my talent. Near the end of my first year, I had a new play and was auditioning actors to be in it. Imagine my surprise when I saw who walked in. Ethan, my high school crush. Of course, he was perfect for the role. We spent the next month rehearsing and laughing and getting to know each other with the rest of the cast. He and Stacy had broken up. The opening night at the school was a big hit. After the show, a man walked up to me and told me he was a theater producer and asked if I had thought about moving my show to a bigger stage. This was all happening so fast. 1 year later, our show opened on Broadway. My family was there apologizing for not encouraging me.
"I didn't see what a talent you are." Your father and I hope you can forgive us. We're so proud of you.
I forgave them and gave them a big hug. Life's too short anyway. At the end of the show, the whole cast made me get up and take a bow with them. Afterwards, Ethan asked if I wanted to go to dinner. Just the two of us. I definitely wasn't shy anymore.